Hi, this is my video for the Mead assignment, the Mead reading, and I am going to discuss some of the ideas that were brought up in this article as well as teach them to you. Mead talked a lot about acting and actors and how there are kind of four different parts of the actor, four parts of acting, I guess I should say. The first is impulse, and that is an immediate sensuous stimulation and the actor's reaction to it. So it's just kind of natural. An impulse would just be right off the bat a response to something. Perception is the second one, and that is where an actor searches for and then reacts to the stimuli. So we're able to perceive things, and that is the second stage. The third is manipulation, and that is the actor is able to manipulate objects once they're made manifest. So that's the third. And the fourth is consummation, and that's taking action which satisfies the impulse. So those are the four stages of the act, which Mead discusses. And Mead then kind of discusses that there are social acts, which involve two or more persons, so to interact with people and to have, include these four stages of the act, you need to be interacting with these other people if it's a social act. And then he discusses that gestures, which I could be making right now, could be social and vocal, and that these are how we can control ourselves and how we control our conversations and how we act with each other. And these gestures turn into significant symbols, which we discussed, which I just said. These gestures could be vocal, and so one of the most significant symbols is language, which this article says calls out meaning in both individuals. So if there's two parties in these social gestures, language allows meaning to be derived for both of the individuals and what they're perceiving. So these significant symbols allow people to be the stimulators of their own actions. So they are what allow us to converse and to talk and to derive meaning. And these significant symbols are central to Mead's theory, and they're what we read a lot about in this article. They make the mind and mental process possible. If we didn't have language or we weren't able to derive meaning off of these gestures or these significant symbols, we wouldn't be able to make sense of what is around us. And I kind of was thinking about that in terms of, how could we even perceive what was going on around us or make sense of the world around us if we couldn't have names or meaning for what was happening around us. And this is what he's saying is how we derive meaning from the events that take place around us. So these significant symbols not only allow conversation with others and actions with others possible, but they allow conversations within ourselves possible because we are able to place meaning on things. So Mead talks a lot about humans and then lower animals, lower animals, it usually just lower animals react to stimulus without thinking about it. They see something, they have a stimulus, and it leads to immediate action. Whereas humans, because of these significant symbols, we can organize in our minds the array of responses to stimuli, so we can organize what's happening around us and try to make sense of it. We can test things out that are happening around us, which includes having those conversations with ourselves. And third, we can pick out stimuli amongst the group instead of just the strongest. So if there's a lot going on around us, instead of just picking out what's happening the loudest or the fastest and reacting to it, we can decide what stimuli we want to react to. So that is kind of basically what he talked about when it comes to what influences these significant symbols. And then Mead kind of goes on to discuss, he talks a lot about consciousness, and this idea of consciousness he talks about in the last paragraph or one of the last paragraphs on page 340, it says, while meaning is to be found in behavior, it becomes conscious when meaning is associated with symbols. So we derive meaning from, there's meaning found in behavior and what goes on externally, but we actually can recognize it when there is meaning that is placed next to these symbols. And so these symbols and these significant symbols, which we talked about, are basically the the central role of his theory and are really important to what we're going to be discussing in this class and to what was discussed in the article.